Right. Bollocks. Forgot to get some water. One sec. Right then, let's do this. So, right. I will open the live stream up on my computer and on YouTube. Hey folks, I'll start in a couple of minutes. Just need to open up the live stream on the other screen. There we go. Ujit and Marco, hello. Hope you are well. Yeah, sorry about the annoying thing about live streams is that you always have to wait a couple of minutes just for people to filter in, and then we will crack on. We've got a fair bit to cover today. Howdy. We have Jack as well. Thankfully, I'm seeing all of the comments now popping up on the main screen. So last time I did this, we didn't. And I'm using some tech today, which I thought I was using it, or was beforehand. Bollocks. No. Okay. It doesn't work as soon as I go live. So I've been playing around with some tech called, I think it's Nvidia Broadcast or Nvidia, something like that. And, oh dear Lord, all the scammers. Yeah, and this Nvidia stuff basically makes your eyes constantly look at the screen. But for some reason, it was working before this. As soon as I went live, it doesn't work. But yeah, now you're probably seeing a whole bunch of scammers. Like there's, you can see on the screen right now, Siam Kid, the realistic trader, 50 Bitcoin bonus. Honestly, like my profiles are cloned all the time. And I guess this is sort of an intelligence test. Like this is definitely a scam. This is not me. But bots just do this the second I do this. So how do I no, I don't want to show that. I want to delete it. Block user on Facebook. Cool. Right, once I sort this out. There we go. So here are the rules for today. We may as well crack on. The rules are no crypto questions, unfortunately. So this is purely for wealth generation and business, hence the title. And no crypto. So yeah, the reason being is that I'm doing a 2-hour live session on crypto at 2 o'clock. So yeah. Right. Okay, let's do this. So I'm going to share my screen if I can do that. This screen. Hey. I think, hopefully, you can see what I'm seeing. And it's my little dashboard. Well, my whiteboard. Hokey cokey. So last time we did this, we spoke about the demographic contrarianism for the win, and how I talked about this standard distribution model in terms of everyone's beliefs, thoughts, and actions, because everything stems from your beliefs. And then you end up doing things based on your belief systems, and we all have a belief system based on everything we do. And I guess the 10-second recap of what we did last week was that you got to avoid all the belief systems and thoughts and actions that people do in this demographic if your goal is monetary wealth. And so we went on about that. So today I want to talk about the rite of passage for business owners, things that you have to do which a lot of people try to skip, and then we'll talk about the entrepreneurships. Actually, we'll do that first. Yeah, we'll do the entrepreneurships first, and then we'll do the rite of passage. Sorry, that makes a little bit more sense the other way around. So I came up with the entrepreneurships a long time ago, and I haven't really talked about it. It's in the WAP, so the Wealth Action Plan. My God, there are still, sorry, I'm going to have to sort this out somehow. There are still scammers putting scam comments in. Kane Gilchrist replying to, so how do I block user on Facebook? No, it doesn't work. Block to restream. Yeah. Before we crack on, anyone that's giving Bitcoin discounts or whatever, it's a scam. So just don't fall for them. Right. So yeah, so the entrepreneurships, and basically the overriding premise about the entrepreneurships is that we are all some sort of boat. Okay, and we are all on a big body of water, which is the ocean of life, and we all have our personal goals and targets that we want to get to over the next 1 year, 10 years, or lifetime. And depending on your ultimate end goal, dictates the type of boat that you need to get to. So, for example, if you wanted to be a multi-billionaire and you wanted to be like Elon Musk, etc., well, then your effective destination is like on the far end of the world, right? You got to, you're setting sail in the UK and you're going to go somewhere into the South Pacific. It's a long journey. Therefore, you need a big freaking boat to get there, to do it efficiently and also in a time efficient manner. However, if your life goals are, to say, have a single, one-man band type business that's taking home $5,000 a month and job's done and that's it. And that is your sole goal in life. Then you don't need to be a massive boat. And your goal is basically like a destination on the other end of a lake, not an ocean. And therefore, you don't need to be a massive aircraft carrier to go across a lake, if that makes sense. And so a lot of people don't understand this. So just want to check that I'm not talking to myself. What can you see on the screen? Can you see my doodle pad or me? Edit destinations. Actually, I'm going to turn this off. I think all the scammers are coming from the Realistic Trader Facebook page. Yeah. You can see me only. Right. You can't see my doodle pad. No. What about if cover? What if okay, stop screen sharing. Sorry. Problem is I have played around with this trying to make sure this is smooth, but share the entire screen. Share. What about now? Can you hear me now? You can see the jet ski, but you can't hear me. What about now? Hello. Audio lost. God damn it. Any joy? Yes, now it works. Great. Okay, so I need to click my face and also the screen for you guys to see me. Right, I'm going to start again and start talking about the jet ski. So, as I said, well, I don't know what you heard, but I'm being as stereotypical as possible. Okay, and we are all one of these boats or a mix of the boats. So, first of all, we have the jet ski, and this is basically a uni student, having a blast. You're probably most likely going to be 50 to 100 grand in debt when you add in all of the fees with uni, etc. And still no sound. Jesus Christ, what is going on? Rosie Atherton just said that there's no sound at all. Can't believe it. So can you hear me, Rosie? I just want to make sure I'm not going to be talking to myself for the next 50. Okay, Phil says we're all clear on Facebook and YouTube. Right, okay, this is the last time I'm going to stop. I'm just going to talk now. So, starting again. Yeah, jet ski, you're a uni student, you're going to be 50 to 100 grand in debt. And most likely, 90% of the time, you're doing a degree that is complete bullshit and won't help you in the sea of life, if that makes sense. You'll end up with a job completely irrelevant to the degree that you're studying. You're probably doing a sports science degree or events management degree or something like that. And it'll lead you nowhere. And you'll end up, wasting a few years in the job market. And I mean, I'm an employer. I've employed a lot of people. I've got a lot of different businesses that employ people. And, ultimately, I'd rather, let's say I had the pick of two 23-year-olds, one that has a degree with no work experience and one that's been in the job market, from the age of 18. I don't give a shit about qualifications. I go by attitude and whatnot. And the person that's been working longer in a job or whatnot will be much more effective. Just personal experience, those with uni degrees, I have found as an employer, tend to be entitled brats. Just from my own experience, they think that just because they got a uni degree that they should be treated like kings and whatnot. And ultimately, I think there's barely any transferable skills into the actual real world after your uni degree. So anyway, you're a jet ski, and the thing is, when you are a jet ski and you're being a student, you don't really have much earning capacity. So you could get some side jobs, etc. And so the money at the top, it says £10 here. So you could be earning tens of pounds per week or per month, etc. So let's move on to the jet ski. From the jet ski, now we're looking at the drowner. Now this is a boat, absence of a boat, which I have been many times in my life. And a drowner is someone with or without a job. There's more month at the end of their money, as in, you run out of money and you still got more days till the end of the month, if that makes sense. And at this rate, your run rate is more than you can afford, and so you're probably going to end up in bankruptcy at some point. And the typical thing a drowner may say is, "I'm riddled with increasing debt and can never make ends meet." In fact, they probably won't be saying that, but that's the reality of the situation. So, and you can be a drowner even with a job. You could, let's say you haven't been good with your finances and your outgoings are, £2,000 a month, but your job, you're only taking home, let's say, 1,500 quid a month. You're going to be in a bit of bother. And so, yeah, I think we have all been a drowner at some point. And again, I was a drowner for a good 2 to 3 years, and it was horrendous. So yeah, we've all got our sob stories. Let's move on. And the thing about being a drowner is that the only way you can sort of get out of this is you got to get 2 jobs. Unfortunately, you need 2 jobs. Or no, there's 3 things you can do, or a mix of both. So one is that you either go and get a better job, which with more pay, which will temporarily, meet your outgoings, etc. But it's hard these days to get, the job with the salary that you're expecting, unless you have real skills, that is, and real experience in something. Or you go and get two jobs. Oh yeah, really. Yeah, so you get two jobs and you work on a part-time business. And that's what I did. I can only attest to what I did personally. But when I was a drowner, I had two shitty jobs that I hated. I actually had three, because I had two shitty jobs. And then I was pulling pints at the farmhouse pub in Norwich. And then I was working on a part-time online business. So, and then eventually you can, when the businesses kick off, then you can, quit your jobs. So that's the drowner. And then you eventually have the rowing boat, which unfortunately is the most of the population. The rowing boat, you can earn hundreds of pounds per month this month. Ignore the monetary figure at the top. It's a bit rough. But yeah, this is typically someone working a full-time job, but not having any surplus cash flow at the end of the month. So again, I think we all know what a rowing boat is. We've all spent time there. Then we have the racing boat. So this is someone who is, let's say, a middle line manager. They've been in a job for a while. They've got a good salary. Let's say, 40K plus a year. That is a good salary. They're still busting their gut. They're probably, because of their position, they're probably spending a lot more time than the average, job, than others in their company, let's say, because they're going up the corporate ladder. And unfortunately, the mentality with most racing boats is that they are lifers. Lifers in the sense that their goal is, right, I'm going to climb this corporate ladder until I die. And the goal is to be the MD of the company in 20 years time, or 50, whatever. And it's a bit of a golden trap being in a racing boat. Again, I've been a racing boat and I know what it's like. And it's the same. Yeah, take pilots. So I used to be an Air Force pilot, and I know loads of Air Force pilots, and also I know loads of airline pilots, because that's pretty much where Air Force pilots go after they get pissed off with the Air Force. And the thing is, they are the prime examples of being a racing boat. They're all earning 40 to 80 grand a year, let's say, whether they're, not in the Air Force, but if they're an airline pilot, they're going to be earning a bit more. And it's a golden trap, because they have a nice cushy life. They fly every now and then. They're well paid. It's a good job. And, it's everything they wanted to do. But the pain isn't strong enough. There is no real pain, because they have a cushy life, nice salary, nice income, and the prospect of them going out and setting up their own business, which could fail, is very scary. And so there's not enough pain. Whereas if you're a drowner, you have nothing to lose. You are already drowning. So you're like, yeah, I will do whatever it takes to, and there's more of a fire up under the arse of drowners and rowing boats than racing boats. So it is actually very hard for some racing boats to take the jump. And all I would say is that if you are in that sort of golden trap, I would carry on. Don't jeopardize your job like I did. I would work on a part-time online-based business whilst you're doing this. And then eventually, when your part-time side hustle starts making money, then you can think about things. Then you have the sailboat. I'm going to accelerate now, because most of the earlier boats are more applicable to the general pop. The sailboat is like a one-man band, or probably can't even say one-man band anymore, one-person band business. And you could set up new product lines or new sort of avenues, and you can make tens of thousands of pounds extra per year. I'm my own boss, but I work harder and longer than than others, and that's very true with sailboats. It's, the old saying of, it's great. I work for myself, and I can choose which chunk of 18 hours a day that I work, or something like that. But and this is really the first step on the real wealth journey ladder. You don't get any real wealth generation until you are a sailboat. This is the first thing, because if you wanted to be there are some incongruencies that people don't realize. If you want to be a millionaire, near as damn it, it's nigh on impossible to be a millionaire if you have just a normal job. So like there's that big incongruency. So in order to make proper money, if you want to be a millionaire, you have to be a business owner. Simple as that. And I'm ignoring lottery, inheritance, all that sort of stuff. If you want to earn your money, you've got to be a business. If you want to earn your millions, let's say, you've got to be a business owner. And the sailboat is the beginning. Because if you have a business that starts taking off, then you can start growing it, getting other rowing boats for your business, if that makes sense. Then you have the tug. So you've got a business that's doing well. You can make hundreds of thousands of pounds extra per year, open up a new product, do more marketing, yada, yada, yada. And a tug is basically a business owner that has staff, i.e. you've got some other rowing boats or racing boats that work in your business. And all businesses need rowing boats. They all need racing boats. And yeah, business is great. I'm building up my team. The future's bright. And in terms of I've personally found that the biggest lifestyle step up is when you're a tug, and all of a sudden certain pains disappear. Like when you're a drowner or even a rowing boat, sometimes you are counting the pennies. Like you're counting, what, like you're stressed about what food you can buy at the shops, which shop you can go shopping in. Can I afford to go to a restaurant this week or this month? And it's pretty shit. I remember that. But when you're a tug, like eventually, it is the biggest increase of lifestyle, because all of a sudden all those things just disappear. And you want to go to a restaurant, you just go to a restaurant. Little things, a bit like that. And then from here on upwards, we're going to speed along. You then have the frigates. These are millionaire business owners, accomplished experts within their field, or their business is a leading expert in that field. And the frigates, they tend to become, the risk here is that you become a bit lazy, because the money is good, everything's cushy, the business is running for itself, and then you start to take your foot off the pedal here, and then you start playing more golf, etc., etc. Then you got the battleships. These are like the Dragon's Den type people. The Theopathetists is all that sort of lot. Then you have the luxury yachts. These are, how should I say, trust fund babies, where their parents have just handed down millions. They've never earned anything, and they don't know how to grow the money or even look after it. So that's that. Paris Hilton, I guess, is the prime example of a luxury yacht. Then you have the nuclear submarines. These are the billionaires out there, which you just don't know about. Putin, I guess, is king nuclear sub. But yeah, these are, I guess, all the oligarchs, the drug lords out there that you just have no idea. They're very, super influential, but people have never heard of them. The last time I checked, I think according to Credit Suisse, there's something like 3,000 billionaires on the planet which are illegal. And it's roughly this billionaires on the planet. Half of them are illegal billionaires that we don't really have many optics on. I need to cross-check that. I need to fact-check that again. But it blew my mind when I read that report. It was in a big PDF. And then you have the aircraft carriers. These are the Elon Musks, the Jack Dorseys of the world, who, they all say, how can we change the world into a better place, etc. And some people do it, in my opinion, the right way, like Elon. He's trying to build things to make the better world. And then you have people like Bill Gates, who I think is a douchebag. Anyway, moving on. So they're the entrepreneurships. And by the way, it's not a linear thing. Sometimes you can... Here's all of the ships, and and sometimes you can go from being a drowner straight into a frigate if you. But every time we see some like a success story like that, there are tens of millions of people that don't do that, and people are always. So let's take 99% of the population from basically who are sailboat and below, or even Tug and below, we're looking at all these Elon Musks out there going, oh my God, it's amazing. And you see all the Elon Musks on TV, and a lot of them have, a story where, oh, I was poor, and then all of a sudden freaking made it. But what you don't see is the 15, 20 years of work previous before a company explodes. So a lot of people try and take shortcuts. They think, oh, I'm going to go from Drowner to Frigate. It does not work. There is a rite of passage. You cannot shortcut the rite of passage. Elon Musk is the worst role model out there because he has a terrible standard of living in terms of work-life balance. Not that, the work-life balance is a myth in itself. And people are just not built like him. And even though he is my God, I don't want to be like him. I know I'm not like him. I can't be like him. So you have to understand what is your real goal. Then you need to aim to become the ship that can get you to that goal in a time efficient manner. And when I say a time efficient manner, within 10 years. You do not want to be working, or you do not want to be in a position where you have to work for the next 40 years to maybe be comfortable when you're 70 and onwards. So what is that rite of passage? Now, I no word of a lie, this is almost exact conversation I had today. I went to fill up my car. I left it a bit low, had like 10 miles left, which isn't good for the engine. Anyway, filled it up, and it was at the Shell garage near me. And it's a lovely lady there. We always have a chat. And then she was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I just explained what I did in like 5 seconds. And like she was, "Oh, that's great," blah blah blah. And then it was only a 2-minute chat, but she was, "Oh, one day, if I suddenly stumble across 100 grand, that would really change my life. And, then I could be a business owner, maybe, I don't know, I could do this and that." And I'm like, oh, and I didn't bite because I had to go. And I was, yeah, and I left things as normal. And that's the thing. And I've had a very similar conversation with others, taxi drivers, etc. Everyone thinks that they need to win or inherit 100 grand or £1 million, and then they'll change their lives. Well, the stark reality is, no matter what money they land in, they're going to blow it all. They will spunk it up the wall, and they just don't know how to manage money or even grow it. So they will slowly bleed that money dry because be bleeding wealth at a rate of about 15% per year, because the average currency supply grows by about 15% per year, which, as I said last time, you need to make at least 15% wealth sense. So yeah, right. Just double check it. I've had to click a few things here. Can you still see my? What can you just see my face now? Yeah. No. Please. Yeah, you can see it. Huh. Okay, it seems to be working. So those that weren't here at the beginning, I said that I've been playing around with some software, and it's Nvidia Broadcast, and I wasn't sure how to actually use it. And this is a trial. So at the moment, I'm looking at my left-hand screen. I'm not looking at the camera. And it looks like my eyes are looking directly at the camera. I'm not looking at the camera right now. I'm just playing around with this AI software from Nvidia, and I just wanted to see if it works or not. So from what it looks like, am I looking at the camera right now? Yeah. I am not looking at the camera. I'm looking at my left-hand screen. That is freaky. Wow. I wasn't sure how it worked. That is really freaky. So yeah, I think this kit, this Nvidia broadcasting, is probably going to change the lives of a lot of my oh no. How weird is that? When I wave my hand in front of my eyes, you can temporarily see. Anyway, I think it's lost me. It seems to have been, oh dear Lord. For some reason it's moved me. There we go. Right, so let's crack on. Tech works. That's pretty freaky, to be fair. Yeah. So for the rest of this video, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at my screens. So if I can get my doodle pad open, last check. Can you see the doodle pad with the tug on it? Can you? What are you seeing right now? Back on the whiteboard. Yep, sweet. Okay. So what is that rite of passage? As I said, people always want to skip stuff and they want to go straight to the millions. Well, it doesn't work like that. And the journey, God damn it, internet. Here we go. And we have the standard journey. Some of you may have seen this before, some haven't, but I'll be pretty brief because I've got to go in 20 minutes. It looks like this. So you have something like that. So you enter the workforce, whether, between the age of 18 to 23, depending if you go to uni or not. And most of the time you'll end up in some sort of cesspit because you've screwed up your finances, you've spent too much money, you're in debt, blah, blah, blah. And especially if you're a uni student, because you're now like 100 grand in debt and you're like, what the hell do I do? So there are certain things you have to do, unfortunately. And I have to stress, you can skip certain steps, and that's what people want to hear, but unfortunately you can't. You have to get a job, or okay. And people think I knock jobs a lot. I don't. They are absolutely essential, because the thing with a job is that you gotta get a job to learn, not to earn. You will learn so many crucial skills for business in a job. You need to get sales skills, marketing skills, customer relationship skills. You need to do all that sort of stuff, and you can't get. Oh, it's very hard to do that without. I mean, there are definitely things you can get from a job. Okay, then eventually you need to set up a business of some sort, and it could be a part-time business, but whatever it is, you need some sort of personal side hustle. Because as I mentioned last, where is it gone? Yeah, you need to be constantly putting hours into your own vessel that gets you towards whatever goal or target you need to get to. And if you're in a job, all of those hours, those 40 hours a week, they're going into someone else's vessel or boat, etc. So you need a business, part-time business, etc. Now, at some point during this process, hopefully you need to set up a couple of things. You need your rainy day fund. So your rainy day fund, you should be 3 to 6 months worth of OPEX. So operational expenditure, as in your outgoings. So don't save for saving's sake. You need to basically, like, let's say your outgoings are £2,000 a month. Well, I don't know, let's say you just use a 3-month bit. So you just need £6,000. So your rainy day fund, you need £6,000 in cash. And that means if you lost your job, you know that you've got outgoings, or this £6,000 will last you about 3 months in terms of outgoings. If you're more on the risk averse side, then yeah, have £12,000. But you don't need more than 6 months worth of OPEX. Anything surplus to this, let's say you're very risk averse and you want £12,000 just to make sure that you've got at least 6 months worth of outgoings if you lose your job or business, etc. Anything surplus for that then should go into your investable pot. And I mean, I'm going off one. I'll talk about the investable pot next week, potentially. But basically, you then have to choose between cash flowing assets or capital appreciating assets. Most people are obsessed with capital appreciating assets, buying stocks, bonds, commodities, crypto, whatever, buy low, sell high. But reality, you just need to focus on cash flowing assets, i.e. a biz. So, and then eventually, and by the way, you should expect to screw up your first bunch of businesses. Do not expect to go from a job into your first business and then make it. My first 3 or 4 businesses never took off. They either failed or just didn't take off. And you really only get into the flow of business sort of 5 years in. I span my wheels in the mud for at least the first 3 to 5 years. And the key thing, the thing that I see all the time, so is that people don't have the necessary skills. Now, it sounds very like cliche, but bear with me. So let's say you have someone who is some sort of, I don't know, let's say a rowing boat, rowing to sailboat. No, not even racing boat. Okay, they've got a job and then they have this business idea and they set up whether they're a sole trader or a limited company, doesn't matter. But this is their first business, right? 99% of the time, they will do that business in the worst freaking way possible. Like they will set that business up in like almost a perfect reverse order of what they should be doing. They will be obsessive about the idea. In fact, they're too in love with the idea, to the point where any constructive feedback or criticism or data that opposes that idea, they'll just ignore it. And that's deadly when you ignore real valid data. And they will sort of sharpen pencils. Okay, and that's my term, sharpen pencils. So what I mean about sharpening pencils, in fact, constantly is the key word. Is that they will pretty much do everything other than the thing that gets the business going. I'll give you a real example. My very first business. Oh my God. So I was an Air Force pilot. I then went and got my commercial helicopters license. I wasted 60, 70 grand getting a commercial helicopters license. So even though I was I already had the skills from the Air Force and whatnot, a lot of my military qualifications meant jack shit in the real world. So I had to go and basically jump through some hoops. Anyway, I then thought, how about I set up an aviation business? Because that was the only business I knew. And what I did is set up, I don't know what is going on with this stupid camera. I set up Fly Siam Aviation Services, which is very cheesy, and it's supposed to do helicopter wedding flights, helicopter charter, etc., etc. And what did I do? I knew nothing about business because I'd been a rowing boat or a racing boat for all of my life, and I did everything other than go and get sales. So I obsessed about the website. I obsessed about the brochures, the leaflets. I obsessed about the uniform. I got the business. I basically did business cards. Fucking hell. Business plans. Oh my God. I did literally everything that you should not do. What did I not do? I didn't focus on marketing. I just didn't focus on, getting out there, getting leads. Like ultimately, a business lives or dies by sales. How do you get sales? Leads. How do you get leads? Or either offline marketing or online marketing. Did I do any of that? Nope. I did zero marketing. I just sat on my ass at home with this new business phone number that led to my mobile, I think. No, a landline. And I played COD 24/7. I just sat there playing COD, waiting, Call of Duty, waiting for the phone to ring. Did it ring? Did it fuck? It did not ring at all. And I was like, why is this business not working? And then I joined BNI and 4 networking and all that bullshit. And it didn't, yeah, it's just, and ultimately, after about a year, the business made 2 sales and lost loads of money. So yeah, Fly Siam Aviation Services died. And that was an utter waste of my commercial helicopter pilot license. So yeah, and I've done loads of businesses like that. So the key thing is that the right. So by the way, this is the rite of passage. You absolutely need to fail your first couple of business projects. You need to get something out there and fail, because you will learn so much in terms of cash flow nightmares, because it is just a cash flow nightmare. But that's what business is. You will always be short of cash. You'll always have bills which you don't have enough money for to begin with. And by the way, I still have temporary cash flow issues. Everyone does. Anyone that says they don't is a big fat liar. So what can you do? What is the one thing that you can do to make sure, to vastly increase the probability of success in your first business or 10th business, wherever you are in business? That is understanding what drives eyeballs. That is absolutely crucial. How can you get eyeballs onto your business or product? Screw the product, screw the business ideas, it's going to change the world, or it's going to change the environment, blah, 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 blah. Your business dies a stillbirth if you don't get eyeballs on it. So you have to focus on offline or / both online marketing. You have to. The thing I say all the time is that a business is like set up a lemonade stand in the middle of the Sahara Desert. No one knows that you're there. No one cares about you. You need to create the roads that lead to your lemonade stand, and then force people onto that road, or entice people onto that road to your lemonade stand. And so what you need to really understand is this bit here. You need to understand how to drive traffic. How to drive traffic to your site or your landing page or whatever it is. Okay, that is absolutely crucial. So before you even think of setting up a business, screw the idea. I don't give a shit about the idea. Ideas are jack shit. They're worthless, absolutely worthless. Business is all about execution. I could give you all, in fact, here's a real example. If you go to, where is it? I'll try and find my video. I put out a video in here, in YouTube, titled "Some Mind-Blowing AI Biz Opportunities and Tools." Audio fixed, because the audio is crap to begin with. Now, it's an hour and 16 minutes long. In here, I shared with you a really freaking awesome business opportunity or business idea, which you can go out and implement right now. And it's almost, I think it's almost guaranteed to make money very, very quickly. And so, like, I'm more than happy sharing that idea, something which I may actually do myself, because execution is everything. Most people take that idea and do nothing with it, or they'll go about, they'll set everything up and they won't be able to make sales. So ideas are worthless. Execution is absolutely everything. So definitely watch that. It's this AI video, but the thing is, before you even think of an idea, you need to understand how to drive traffic to your website, because without traffic to your website or to your offering, whatever it may be, a lead magnet of some sort, you will not get sales. Now, when you understand what drives eyeballs and how to drive traffic, that skill in itself will start filtering the type of business ideas you can do. And not just that, if you understand marketing, you understand, how much does it cost to get you a lead? What is your CPA? What's your cost per acquisition? How much is it, as in how much does it cost you to get a customer? So for example, you could come up with all sorts of ideas. Like, let's say I want to sell cupcakes online. Well, okay, let's say it costs let's say it costs 10p to make a cupcake. Let's say your CPL, your cost per in fact, just make it simple. If you're going to sell cupcakes online on Facebook or whatever, let's say it's going to cost you £10 to sell a cupcake, but you're only selling a cupcake for £1. Well, you're going to be losing £9 straight away. So because just with a very simple understanding of Facebook ads or YouTube ads or whatever, you'll know that selling cupcakes online, like individual cupcakes online, is a terrible business. Let alone all the other bits and bobs, like how big is your oven, how many cupcakes can you make per day, how many can you feasibly sell per day, all that sort of stuff. So just knowing marketing, what drives eyeballs, will filter out 99% of business ideas. And this is not, in fact, this is not a shameless plug at all. I'm more than happy to talk about this because you should definitely check out the WAP. So the wealthactionplan.org is like a little Netflix for business, money, and investing, etc. And what I highly encourage you to do is check out the 30-day free trial. And that 30-day free trial will give you access to this introduction video bit, which is a really shit name for it. In fact, that needs to change because it's not an introduction video. It is literally the thing that you need to get going. And here it is. It's this module here. So this is what the portal looks like. You won't get the trading stuff, but you'll get the WAP modules. And it's literally everything you need to get your business up and running and how to set it up properly. In fact, here we go, the biz setup checklist. This is what you should do in the correct order. Forming a limited company is nowhere near the beginning. Like, you need to be making sales and profit before you even think of setting up a limited company. Anyway, so must watch these videos before anything else. When you click on that, you'll get access to a whole ton of videos, which you really do need to watch. And we even set up a brand new business from scratch called My Fairy Pen Pal, and we documented it each way, like at every step of the way, from launching it, getting sales, to getting new staff, getting investment. Like 18 months ago, we sold 10% of the business for 100 grand. And yeah, we're still growing it. So, and that was a business from scratch. So yeah, definitely check that out. Now, where was I going with this? I had my doodles. Yeah, so you got to learn how to drive traffic to your website. Now, I've got to go very soon, so I'm going to go through all the questions now, because I could talk forever about this, and I've got a lot more to talk about. But we'll have to do it next week. But a big recap of all this is you have to understand that what ship are you, or what ship do you want to be, and where are you right now? So if you want to be a frigate and you're a rowing boat right now, what do you need to take? What do you need to do in order to become a frigate? The answer is become a business owner. Okay, if you want to get into business, what do you need to do first? As I said, ignore completely the idea. Get good at marketing. So what you could do is, let's say you like, I don't know. Here we go. I'm just seeing the top of my comments list. Aaron Hardingham, my good buddy. He is an awesome tattoo artist. So let's say you love tattoos and art, and you wanted to set up a business around that. Well, what I would do is, let's say you go out and teach yourself online marketing and offline marketing, and you get yourself to the point where you know that you can drive leads. Well, you could then go to Aaron or someone like him and go, hey, I can drive leads to you. Will you give me X amount of money for a sale? If you can give Aaron a sale for $3,000, a customer that goes and pays him $3,000, would he give you 300 quid or $1,000 or whatever? So like some sort of affiliate deal. And I actually think it's not that I'm a big fan of affiliate marketing, but to begin with, it's a nice way to get used to business, because that way all you need to worry about is driving traffic and getting leads. You don't have to worry about the product, the servicing of the product or the service, or the business itself. You're just generating lead and palming it off, and the rest of the business is down to their is up to them. And then once you get good at driving traffic, you can then set up your own business based on whatever leads or products or services you think is handy. Now let's go through the questions. Right. I'm just going to check the questions on Facebook and YouTube because that's what I can see here. So Ian on Facebook has said, rowing sailboat pilot here, being self-employed and started businesses, returning to standard PAY employment to upskill. Okay, cool. It'll be interesting. What skill do you hope to get with that, Bondi? It'll be interesting because you may be taking a step backwards for no reason. There's so many things you could learn. Like, yeah, I'm really interested to see what skill you're trying to gain. Right. Next, what other questions? Okay, most questions on YouTube. So let's have a look. Right. I'm trying to find the questions. Okay, Aaron has said, have been instructing apprentices in how to make use of the AI for their businesses in the near future. Also, I've completed the WAP worth every darn penny. Oh, thank you, mate. Marco said, unfortunately, I'm not hiring at the moment. Sorry, buddy. Hi, so I'm looking forward to the trading pub. I'm setting up an English teaching course for foreign kids. What's the best place to start? Okay, that's interesting. So English teaching course for foreign kids. What age? So again, so that is the idea. I wouldn't obsess too much about the idea. I would focus more about the numbers of the business. So you could easily set up, you could set up a video course of some sort using Kajabi or any of these online platforms. But the problem is, who is your target? Who's the actual customer? So yeah, an English teaching course for foreign kids. Kids don't have money typically. So is it the parent? You have to understand who is the actual customer that's going to give you money. It's going to be the parent or a school of some sort. So, and then how are you going to get eyeballs onto that product or that service? Are you going to be, so I would focus more about how you're going to get people onto the platform. And like, for example, the toughest business I have is the wealth action plan. So ironically, the least successful business I have right now is the wealth action plan, as in the WAP, this business here that I've been talking about, where you can learn stuff. Now, and it's because I did actually approach the WAP in the wrong way. I created like all this content in here is gold dust. It really is. You will learn so much here. However, getting people into the WAP is incredibly difficult. People don't realize how hard it is to, getting eyeballs onto this. People don't like, the whole self-help world or learning world is very tough. It's really hard getting eyeballs on it because it's such a saturated market. So again, focus, just worry more about the getting people on it instead of the English course. I mean, set up a waiting list. And if you can get enough people on the waiting list for your product, then you'll know that, it's actually worth the time and effort in setting up the actual content for it. Thanks for the comment, Chinmay. Hopefully, I haven't butchered your name pronunciation. Hey Sam, do you have any tips on how to improve recruitment? I have a small business. The biggest bottleneck is able to recruit skilled people, but it seems there's so few of them. Yes, I do. Adam Hamlet. Again, it sounds like a shameless plug, but if you look at the WAP here and then you go down, where is it? Staff. Okay, there's a module called staff, and that, if I look, this module here is really crucial because I used to have endless problems with recruiting people, and I know there's only 4 videos there, but some of them are quite long, these videos. But how you do it is cannot just put up an advert on Indeed or CV Library in the hope to get some good quality people. have to filter them like crap, and put in loads of different tripping up hazards so people can self-filter them out of the running. But yeah, that's a long question. Zigis, we've set up a childwood manufacturing company. We have sell, but we want to sell in Europe. What's the best marketing medium to gain export clients? Geez, I don't know whether you're targeting consumer or B2B. I'm guessing B2B. I would send them. I would do offline lumpy mail. So send them a big package full of goodies. So for example, if you look at so if you go to therealistictrader.com, so here's an example of lumpy mail, and you go to learn the basics for free. Yeah. So here in this page, there's a whole bunch of free videos, which are great. But if you grab this book, so don't forget to grab this book, what we actually do is we send you a copy of my book and another booklet and loads of other stuff and some chocolate in it. It's a big bunch of stuff that you get in the actual post. And that's normally the easiest way to just to say, hey, this is me. And if they like what you do, great. If not, no biggie. But yeah, sorry, it's a long question. I've got a live stream in 4 minutes that I've got to get to, so I've got to speed things up. Elliot Jordan, fall in love with the numbers, not the business side. Yes, I agree. Yeah, looking into the WAP for sure. But for you, what's the best place to find leads? Facebook, Instagram, Google, Etsy. Yeah. So the last question here. So it all depends on your target market. So, for example, what we found, if we take My Fairy Pen Pal, this is my wife's business that I help out with. One of her main target audiences is grandparents. So you have to hunt for grandparents in the medium that they swim in, if that makes sense. Bad terminology. So they're not on TikTok, grandparents typically. They're not really on Instagram. They're not on, a lot of these younger, they're not on Snapchat. And what we found is that the grandparents we find, they're still on Facebook. It's like Facebook is now for parents and grandparents. So Facebook marketing and Facebook ads is great for My Fairy Pen Pal. But if you want a younger audience, then yeah, you'll need to be on TikTok and YouTube, all that sort of stuff. So it really depends where your target demo is. Or if it's B2B and you're selling to businesses or enterprises, B2E, then they're not going to be on social media. Well, so yeah, unfortunately, you're going to, like for the bigger stuff, like Nakes has just said, he's looking at educational institutes. You'll have to go to trade shows. You have to literally go in person and, provide them a gift of some sort, and you need to speak to people. So yeah, right. I've got to go. I've got another live session. I hope today has helped. I know we had tech problems for the first 10 minutes. So if you're watching this, yeah, or you've probably already seen. But yeah, I'll see you next week, 1 o'clock. Oh, no, not next week. I'm skiing next week. Won't be next week. I will no doubt post about it, as in the next live session, probably in 2 weeks' time. Cool. Got to go. Love you. Toodles.